Hey future green thumbs, we're gonna do a trial of something called Mycogrow. It's their Pro Grow system. Now, it comes from Mycorrhizae. If you're unfamiliar with it, Mycorrhizae is a type of fungus that actually works in concert with plants to trade nutrients back and forth. So it can be very powerful when you're growing in soil, and certainly soil combined with compost. We're going to do a Tiny Tim dwarf tomato trial, compare that with Tiny Tim plants that are grown at the same time, planted at the same time, using just regular worm compost. I usually get great results with my worm compost. So let's see how much bigger the plants are, how much faster they grow, the kinds of yields we get from them. And this is going to be about a 2-month trial, so focus, maybe subscribe and come back and check on it, because I'm going to keep updating it. But let's look and see how it goes. Okay, here's the Pro Grow container, and it's made by GoldenMyco. Primarily it's used for larger row crops, but as we're growing more and more indoors, it's great to use these kinds of products to get good results for our homegrown food as well. So it comes in a 6-ounce bag like this, but you don't really need much. So for example, it's really only like a teaspoon, and it's put around the seeds as part of the growth process. So it's a very tiny amount, and we'll show you what that looks like in a bit. And we're going to plant it into here. We've got our sections. So the one on the left is going to be only compost, and the one on the right is going to be compost and Mycogrow. So I'm going to put my compost in there, and then I'll show you what it looks like with adding a little bit of the Mycogrow, or the Pro Grow by GoldenMyco. So let's see what that looks like. Alright, so I just harvested my worm compost. It's right here on the right, and then I've got my spot for our trial, a little bit of the Pro Grow over here. Now, when the worm compost comes out, it's usually got lots of moisture. There's little bits of compost that might have some worms on them, but the worms will migrate away from the light. So to transplant it, basically you're going to just take it, put it into small kind of pouches like that, and then push it down into the top of your soil. And then we're going to sprinkle a little bit of soil on top of it after we've done our planting itself. So first, the compost. You don't usually need a lot of it. It's kind of a layer of it, and as the plant's growing, it's going to grow down into the other stuff that you've got underneath it. But the compost is bacterial. It's got lots of great nutrients, perfect for seedlings, and it should get us really great results. So let's grab a little bit more here, put those on our Mycogrow side, and sort of have them separate. So when we add the Mycogrow, it's going to be on the one side only, and it really only needs a couple spoonfuls. So you don't need to add a lot to your space, but this is kind of how it works. So I'm going to put the seeds in next, and then we'll sprinkle on our Mycogrow, then start our trial. Before we put our seeds in, I just wanted to show you kind of what a full Tiny Tim plant looks like. This one has been growing indoors about 10 months. We've pulled, I don't know, 100 tomatoes off of it maybe. It's grown under 100-watt light. It's great because it's very compact, and it allows me to take my spent nutrients from my other hydroponic systems, run it through this plant, and just get more tomatoes. So it's pretty nice. The seeds look something like this. So Tiny Tim, this is survival garden seeds, heirloom. The plants only get this big. They're not going to be larger than this, so they're very compact. They just spend all of their energy pushing out tomatoes, which is nice. So we've got those flowers coming in there. About 2 weeks later, you'll get the green ones. About 2 weeks after that, you're going to get red tomatoes. So it's pretty efficient. Okay, so we added our tomato seeds. You can kind of see them in here. In my experience, tomato seeds absolutely love this compost. So don't really need to do much except to kind of push it down there. And for this side over here, just going to sprinkle on a little bit of stuff on top. You don't really need to do much. You basically want to just kind of trap that moisture in there. Try to avoid things like these. See if I can grab a little more over here. The goal here is just to make sure that there's a little bit of covering on the top of these seeds. That holds in a little moisture, and these are essentially going to be sprayed to start off with. We'll put the Mycogrow on that side, and then we'll do the same thing, and we're ready to start the trial. Okay, got our Mycogrow here, so I'm just going to do a little bit on top. No, still a lot left. You don't need much for this. It's actually pretty easy, very small amounts in order to get good results. So I'm gonna just put this back into my container, use that next time we grow some more fruiting plants. And something similar here, you just need to put in a little bit of stuff on top to make sure that these plants are going to have kind of a covering as they're growing. Nothing too big, just a smattering, and then that's pretty much it. So we're gonna put some water on these guys, get them growing, and we'll do a check-in, see how they're doing in about 2 weeks. So be sure to like and subscribe, follow, check back in. Thanks so much.